guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Living Colorado Springs and I am Alicia Armendariz. Today I'm going to be talking about the neighborhood of Rockrimmon here in town. And if you didn't think a city could have two different types of mountain views, you'd be wrong. Because I know in my previous videos I've talked about some of the neighborhoods on the southwest side of town that had views of Cheyenne Mountain and Pikes Peak. But now we're going to go northwest and we're going to talk about Rockrimmon and those views of cliffs and bluffs and part of Garden of the Gods and a couple other interesting things in that neighborhood. So if you have any questions over anything that I mentioned today, please feel free to reach out to me. I am a licensed broker in the state of Colorado and would love to help you with your real estate needs. And also if you have any questions, feel free to reach in the comments. I will definitely get back to you there. And also if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and bell to get notified when I make new videos each week on everything that is Living Colorado Springs. So again, I just want to mention that Rockrimmon sits on the northwest side of town, just west of I-25, kind of between Rockrimmon Boulevard and Woodman Road. Rockrimmon itself does have a cluster of different neighborhoods within it, two of my favorites being Discovery and Pine Cliff, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. But as a whole, everyone here in town just refers to the area as Rockrimmon. And probably the coolest thing about this area and what makes it stand out from other neighborhoods in town is just where it sits on the map. It actually surrounds Ute Valley Park, which is just a large open space of kind of razorback hills and mountains and rock formations and boulders. The park itself does have a ton of trails for hiking, biking, walking your dog. It's a really beautiful area and definitely has kind of, like I said, that jagged, rugged rock formation look. And the neighborhood just sits on a bunch of cliffs and bluffs. So you're not quite on the mountain like you are in some of those southern neighborhoods here in town. You definitely have more of a jagged rock wilderness feel. With that being said, Garden of the Gods is not too far away, so a lot of those homes have great views of Garden of the Gods along with the rest of Pikes Peak and that mountain range kind of teetering off. Because the neighborhood does sit on cliffs and bluffs and just around Ute Valley Park in general, a lot of the roads are going to be pretty windy. The terrain itself is going to be very steep, which is good for hiking and biking. In the wintertime, just make sure that you can drive in snow and you got four-wheel drive for those streets if they're not paved. But otherwise, very beautiful area. Definitely gives you the feel that you are in the mountains. With that being said, with everyone having homes that are on cliffs and bluffs, you're going to have some views of Pikes Peak and Garden of the Gods, but then you're also going to have a lot of city views on the other side. And you'd be surprised how far out you can actually see. Pretty much to Powers Boulevard and then some of the neighborhoods out east past that. So depending on where your lot is in the neighborhood, you could have 360 views of the entire city of Colorado Springs. Not only is this area just awesome because of Ute Valley Park and those cliffs and bluffs and kind of the views that they provide, this neighborhood is also really awesomely located. You are about 5 to 10 minutes from the interstate, depending on how far into Rockrimmon, and by in I mean how far west you are into the neighborhood. Maybe 5-10 minutes at the most to get to I-25, and then obviously from there you can head north or south. You are about 5 to 10 minutes from the Air Force Academy base, and that's actually just the southern gate, I should say. Air Force Academy does sit on the far north end of town, but their southern gate is about 5 to 10 minutes north of Rockrimmon. And I think if you actually need to be on base somewhere within base, it's 17. So still a quick shot. Really close to Air Force Academy if you need to get there for anything, or even just in the fall get to Air Force Academy football games. If you also want to get to major shopping, there is what I think everyone just calls here in town the Costco area. It's actually the University Village Shopping Center, but I think the biggest store, then the biggest reason everyone goes there is because there's a Costco, and everyone here in Colorado Springs shops at Costco. But this is a very large shopping center that has a ton of restaurants, a ton of fitness centers, regular shopping, retail shopping. I mean, you name it. It is a very, very large shopping center, and that from Rockrimmon is maybe 5 to 10 minutes again, depending how far in and west you live in Rockrimmon. It's actually just down the road of Rockrimmon Boulevard. So, quick shot there. The neighborhood, though, it does have several little shopping centers within it. You don't have to go to the Costco area. You can if you want, because that would be a one-stop shop if you needed anything. But within the neighborhood, there are kind of 3 little strip mall areas where they have a Safeway, a Walgreens, smaller restaurants, car washes, gas stations, laundromats, thing of that sort. There's actually about 3 smaller strip malls within Rockrimmon, so you can most likely get to any shopping that you need to within 1 to 10 minutes, I'm going to say, depending on where you live. Now, the neighborhoods and the homes, what do they look like? What do they cost? So, like I told you, there are a cluster of neighborhoods within Rockrimmon, but I find that most people are attracted to Discovery and Pine Cliff, and they just are very different in the way they look. And the fact that they're only separated by Ute Valley Park and just a few miles just is really astonishing to me, because they just look so different driving through. Discovery is actually on the north side of Ute Valley Park and has a very wooded forest feel. A lot of the homes do sit on hills, and they're 2-car garage. They are kind of like a raised ranch, I guess you would call it. They're flat after you walk up the steps and you get on your home that sits on the side of a hill. They're going to be anywhere from 2,000 square feet up to 5,000 square feet, and you can find homes anywhere between $480,000 all the way up to $1 million. So big swing in home prices, big swing in square footage. A lot of these homes are also going to be from the 1950s all the way up to present day. We do have a lot of new build going on. Not a ton of new build like we do out east, but we definitely have smaller neighborhoods popping up, or people actually just coming in and adding on to these homes, because their lots are actually about 0.3 to 0.7 acres. Bigger lots, but very wooded, very forested, and definitely give you a mountain feel. Pine Cliff sits on the south side of Ute Valley Park, and some of it has a lot of that forest look as you're driving through, a lot of big, tall, mature pine trees, but a lot of it also has just newer homes and newer development. There still are actually lots for sale within this established neighborhood, which is super rare because we just don't find that anymore. But again, these lots are going to sit on very steep hills, but be surrounded by mature, beautiful homes. And their trees and their landscaping is going to be a little bit more on the leafy side. As you're driving through, you're going to see that obviously these trees are grown, they're tall, but they are bare due to the winter, versus the other neighborhood, Discovery, has more of a, like I said, pine forest feel. So those tall, mature trees still give off a lot of shade year round, and just, again, give off a more forested kind of Colorado feel, versus Pine Cliff that has just newer landscaping from the past 10 years probably. Both neighborhoods are great though. They are more of a quiet, slower pace of life, and they both sit in School District 20, which is one of our better districts here. Both actually are in walking distance to elementary schools in that area. So no matter where you're gonna be, either side of Ute Valley Park, you can't beat it. It's just kind of more of what feel do you want your neighborhood to have. So with it being 2022, springtime right now, I am gonna say the home prices for both, for just Rockrimmon as a whole, again, like I said, are between that $480,000 all the way up to $1 million. But we're seeing a median sale price right now of about $620,000, $630,000 probably. And that's gonna get you on average a 4 to 5 bed, 3 bath, 3-car garage, right around 3,000, maybe 4,000 square feet of living. And even if these homes are a little bit older or not in the year that they're built, they still have a very Colorado feel. And by that I mean just a warm feel. They have that warm color wood for the most part, the wooden beams that go overhead, maybe the wooden cabinets. I just feel like a lot of the homes that we see in these neighborhoods, even when they're remodeled and done up, they're not that typical new build redone where it has that agreeable gray paint and white trim everywhere. These homes are either just well maintained from their original built date, or they are being remodeled but still keeping that very warm Colorado feel, like I said, with a lot of that wood floor, wood beams. So very beautiful. If you are wanting to be in the mountain feel with the mountain look, Rockrimmon and definitely Discovery are the neighborhoods for you. So there you go, guys. There is just a glimpse into the neighborhood of Rockrimmon here in Colorado Springs. Great location if you want trails, a great location if you want views, mountain or city, and great location if you need to be close to the Interstate or the Air Force Academy. So if you have any questions over anything that I mentioned today, again, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you with the real estate needs, or just comment below and I'll get back to you there. And also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button or bell, I'd appreciate it if you did, because it helps my channel and it helps people like you find information like this. And so until next time, I hope you guys have a good one.